Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Honestly was shocked, and I'm heartbroken for them because we know exactly what it feels like to go through that. And I'm shocked that it happened in Bethlehem again because Bethlehem is such a small town.
A livestock owner is devastated tonight. She says a bear attacked and killed 2 of her goats. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. We talked with that woman in a story you'll only see here on Fox 61. That attack happened about a month ago, but just this past Sunday, it happened again. A bear killed another 2 goats.
And after the most recent attack, state officials say they have set up a trap to catch the bear. Fox 61's Alicia Hercules is in Bethlehem, where neighbors are keeping a close eye on their animals tonight.
When Becky Zielinski saw a bear in her goat pen, she immediately called her neighbors to check on her goats. But she and her neighbors couldn't imagine what they would find just behind this pen.
The bear had actually taken and killed both of our goats, just a little bit of distance away from where we're standing now.
In this video taken from a security camera last month in Bethlehem, you can see a bear chasing one of the goats in the pen. Becky Zielinski's 2 other baby goats were able to hide behind the shed from the bear. However, her 2 older goats, Otis and Milo, weren't so lucky.
Milo and Otis, so they've been living with us for just a little bit over a year, but they've been with my son's girlfriend for 7 years, so they're pets. They're certainly not livestock as they would be considered.
She was heartbroken to hear about another bear attack that killed 2 other goats in Bethlehem Sunday evening.
Honestly was shocked, and I'm heartbroken for them because we know exactly what it feels like to go through that.
She believes the bear responsible for killing her goats has come back several times since the attack, and other large bears have been roaming in the area too. Jason Hawley with the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection says black bears are opportunistic predators.
While most of their diet is vegetarian, they certainly won't pass up, an easy meal of a fawn or a goat or something like that. So it does, while it's not super common in Connecticut, it does happen.
The DEEP has received multiple recent reports of bears attacking livestock in the area. Holly says that if you see your livestock being attacked by a bear, it's best to make noise to scare them off. But you must have a permit to use lethal force to kill a bear that may be attacking livestock.
If a human life is in danger, they have the right to defend themselves. If their pet is being attacked, they do have the right to, actively being attacked, they have the right to defend their pet. As of right now, with livestock depredation or any kind of agricultural depredation, they can apply for a permit to lethally remove bears.
Zielinski removed her 2 surviving goats from their pen to bring them to a safer place with family. After adding a stronger and higher electric fence, she hopes they will be safer in the future.
When we bring them back, we can make sure that they're secure again.
The DEEP encourages livestock owners to install electric fencing to protect their animals from bears and other predators during the day and night. In Bethlehem, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
We have breaking news now from Manchester, where police say a man found dead in an idling car early this morning was the victim of a shooting. 24-year-old Jordan Patterson was found in the vehicle just before 4 a.m. near Irving and Woodland Streets. They pulled him out of the driver's seat and tried to resuscitate him, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. Police found Patterson had been shot once in the stomach. The case is still under investigation tonight, and Manchester police are now looking for any witnesses to come forward. Investigators have been on scene all day on Woodland Street between Broad and Homestead Street, as well as Irving Street between Woodland and Chambers Streets. Now, officials are asking you to avoid that area.
More breaking news, but in Middletown now, Mayor Ben Florsheim has announced he's stepping down from leading the city. The city's chief of staff confirmed the news today. The mayor told city directors he plans on stepping down next month on the 16th. He hasn't given a reason why yet, but we're expecting a statement from the mayor coming up later tonight. Mayor Florsheim has been serving the city since 2019. At the time, he was the youngest mayor ever elected to Middletown.
And there's a guy with a baby on a motorcycle.
That's exactly what police found at a North Branford Park last month. Police shared their body cam video with us of Timothy Sherrick driving a dirt bike with a baby in his arms. We first told you about this story on Friday when police arrested Sherrick. They say this is the second time he's done this. We're told Sherrick rode around with the baby when they were 9 months old and when they were 11 months old. Sherrick's dirt bikes were seized by police both times. He has since been charged.
As a city, we cannot address our greatest challenges if we don't work together.
Hartford schools are getting another $3 million. Mayor Arunan Arulampalam announced the latest funding this morning. Fox 61's Emma Wolfhorst is at Hartford City Hall with those details.
Yet the mayor says this funding is meant to keep critical services and programs from shutting down, but some advocates say it falls short.
We wanted to ensure that we could sustain funding for some of these important programs.
Tuesday, Hartford Mayor Arunan Arulampalam announced $3 million in funding for Hartford Public Schools.
Our dental program in our schools, our career readiness program with Ready CT to provide pipeline programs for our students, our Opportunity Youth Academy, which will have increased capacity to serve kids from Hope Academy as well. Then finally, $500,000 for Catholic Charities, Community Schools program, the wraparound services. There are 4 programs that are so vital for so many of our kids.
Half of the $3 million is coming from the city, with the other $1.5 million supplied by corporate and private foundations.
Our goal is not to fill one budget gap. It is to create centers of excellence for all of our kids, because that is what all of our kids deserve.
But some education advocates, like Carol Gale, president of the Hartford Federation of Teachers, aren't convinced.
My overall honest reaction is disappointment. So while it is something, and I acknowledge that this is helping the Board of Ed with some additional funds, it does not close the budget, nor does it restore a single teacher whose position has been either cut or laid off.
In March, Mayor Arulampalam announced an initial one-time investment of $3 million. But Gale says even with this second round of funding, the Board of Education's entire $6.7 million gap isn't closed.
I do think the city fell short. We were asking for $10 million. That's what the community was asking for. That would have balanced the superintendent's budget and restored a little bit more.
Mayor Arulampalam says anticipated state funding will help.
Both the governor's proposals on special education, the legislative proposals on special education, every single one of which would have a huge impact on our budget, both for this coming fiscal year, but more importantly, our structural budget for years to come.
The Hartford city budget is expected to be adopted Wednesday. Reporting in Hartford, Emma Wolfhorst, Fox 61.
Well, people had to move quickly to new rooms in the middle of the night at a Groton motel. A fire broke out in the office area of the flagship Inn and Suites. Fox 61's Glenn Kittle heard from guests about what they saw.
Thankfully, everyone made it out of the flagship Inn and Suites when the fire broke out at 1 a.m. and no one was hurt. The people staying in the line of motel rooms when the fire started had to be put in different rooms.
So they just came and knocked on the door, just running down the whole lane, knocking on everybody's door, letting us all know to get out of the room.
Motel guests huddle outside of the flagship Inn and Suites after a large fire started in the office section of the 3-building complex. One hotel guest who did not want to give his name said at one point the flames were 30 feet high.
They were almost as high as that telephone pole right there. You can see the telephone pole is burnt. Yeah, the telephone pole is almost went down in flames, but the backside is where we were seeing all the flames coming from. And then of course the crawl space and the roof here, that got filled real quick, smoke coming out both ends. So it was pretty intense.
Crews got word of the fire just before 1 a.m. Tuesday. When firefighters arrived, they said the fire covered the building. Pequannock Bridge Fire Department Chief Jeffrey Rayum tells us 10 fire departments showed up when they raised the third alarm.
The first arriving units had heavy fire in those areas, both the office area and those first 2 rooms to the right there, and they made an aggressive attack to extinguish the fire. We did call a third alarm, which brings in quite a few resources, but they were needed based on the fire conditions that were found when they arrived.
20 guests at the motel had to be evacuated and moved to new rooms. The Salvation Army and Red Cross helped those who lost their belongings to fire, smoke, and water damage.
Everybody got their stuff, and there's some people that are pulling all their stuff out because they're reassigning them to a different room that's got power. I was really glad that these people were here and that the facility is working with us and them to try and make sure everybody is looked out for.
Fire crews conducted an early investigation into the cause of the fire, and they've come up with nothing so far. That investigation now is in the hands of the Groton Fire Marshal's office. In Groton, Glenn Kittle, Fox 61.
Man was stabbed in the head in Middletown last night, and police are still searching for the person who stabbed him. Police say Trenton Hoggard was walking on Grand Street around 9:15. Hoggard said a person he didn't know came up behind him, stabbed him in the head, and then stabbed him again. Hoggard was taken to the hospital. He is expected to be okay. If you know anything, you're asked to contact Middletown Police.
The man convicted of attacking an older woman in Windsor Locks in 2022 will serve 9 years behind bars and 6 years of special parole. Alexander Russell was sentenced last month. He was found guilty in March of assaulting an elderly person and reckless endangerment. Back in October of 2022, police say a 70-year-old woman was going for a morning walk on Old County Road just before 10 a.m. It's reported Russell punched her in the back of the head. She fell to the ground, hitting her head and fracturing some of her fingers. We're told the two did not know each other.
A Newington man's been charged after officials say they found he had child sex abuse material. 30-year-old Ethan Roy is out on bond tonight. He was arrested yesterday on possession of child sexual abuse material. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children gave a tip to police, and police say digital evidence shows he did have that illegal content. Roy's court appearance is scheduled for June 2nd.
A Durham man faces charges after police say he posted video of himself driving almost 140 miles an hour. Giovanni Petruzzello faces reckless driving and endangerment charges. Police say the video shows Petruzzello driving in Durham, Haddam, and Killingworth at speeds between 78 and 137 miles an hour. Officials say a passenger in the car recorded the video. Officials arrested Petruzzello yesterday. He is out on bond and scheduled to appear in court June 5th.